You believe your brain is on your side. You believe that the voice inside your head, the one that guides you, thinks with you, dreams with you, is your friend. You trust it. Of course you do. It's you. But what if I told you that your brain has a secret agenda? What if its primary goal isn't your happiness, your success, or even your growth? What if its real mission is something far older, far more primal? And what if, in carrying out that mission, it sets hidden traps for you every single day? Traps that keep you small, keep you stuck, and keep you from the life you truly want to live. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what these traps are and how to start disarming them, starting today. And if you're new here, this is English Made Easy. Our channel helps you learn English in the simplest and most natural way possible through real-life lessons, deep thinking, and meaningful stories. Don't worry if you hear a difficult word. I'll explain it in plain English so you not only improve your language, but your life too. So let's talk about the biggest myth we all believe. We think our mind is a modern tool for a modern world. We think it's designed to help us navigate our complex careers, our relationships, our search for meaning. We believe its job is to help us become happy. But that's a beautiful lie. The truth is, the brain you have, the one between your ears right now, is ancient. It's a survival machine forged in a time of mammoths and predators, scarcity and immediate danger. Its operating system hasn't had a major update in about 200,000 years. Its number one priority is not your fulfillment. It is your survival. And its three core commandments are stay safe, conserve energy, and avoid pain. That's it. That's the code it runs on. And to follow these ancient rules in our modern world, your brain has developed a series of shortcuts, mental tricks. It does this to make decisions quickly and save energy. These shortcuts are called heuristics. Let me say that again. Heuristics. Pronounced heuristics. It's a C2 level word, but the idea is simple. A heuristic is just a mental shortcut your brain uses to make a quick judgment or solve a problem. It's a rule of thumb. For example, dark clouds mean rain is a useful heuristic. It helps you decide to bring an umbrella without needing a full weather report. Your brain creates thousands of these shortcuts to navigate the world efficiently. But here's the trap. This ancient brain, with its ancient shortcuts, is now living in the 21st century. It's like trying to run the latest virtual reality game on a computer from the 1980s. The hardware is not built for the software of modern life. And those life-saving shortcuts, they often become life-limiting cages. Think about a time you met someone new, maybe at a party or a job interview. Within seconds, your brain made a decision about them. You didn't consciously do it. It just happened. You noticed their clothes, the way they spoke, their handshake, and your brain, searching its vast library of heuristics, pulled out a file. This person is like that other person I knew. This person seems confident, so they must be competent. This person is quiet, so they must be unfriendly. These are heuristics at work. Your brain isn't trying to be fair. It's trying to be fast. It's trying to categorize the world into safe and not safe as quickly as possible to conserve precious energy. In a prehistoric world, deciding if a stranger was from a rival tribe could be a life or death calculation made in a split second.
But today, that same shortcut can cause you to misjudge a kind person, to overlook a talented candidate, or to miss out on a wonderful friendship. Your brain isn't being malicious, it's just being efficient. It's running its old primal software. It's a trap, not of intention, but of design. You see it in every part of your life. You choose the brand you recognize in the supermarket, not because you've researched it and know it's the best, but because your brain's heuristic says familiar equals safe. You avoid a new route to work, even if it might be faster, because the old route is known. Known equals safe, less energy required. And this leads us to the first and perhaps most powerful trap that grows from these mental shortcuts. It's a monster that feeds on your beliefs and starves your growth. It's called confirmation bias. Have you ever noticed that once you believe something, you suddenly see evidence for it everywhere? If you decide you want to buy a red car, you start seeing red cars on every street. If you believe you are unlucky, you will perfectly remember the one time you missed the bus, but completely forget the 5 times you caught it just in time. This isn't magic. This is confirmation bias. It's a beautiful 2-word phrase that describes a very ugly habit of the mind. It is our brain's natural tendency to search for, interpret, and remember information that confirms what we already believe. At the same time, it makes us ignore, forget, or explain away any information that challenges our beliefs. Let's make this personal. Think about your English learning journey. Somewhere along the way, maybe you developed a belief, a small, quiet thought that said, I'm not good at grammar, or maybe my accent is terrible. Once that belief takes root, confirmation bias begins its work. It becomes your personal bias detective looking only for clues that prove your belief is true. You watch a movie and miss a few words. The voice in your head doesn't say, wow, I understood 95% of that dialogue. No, it whispers, see, you missed that. You're not fluent enough. You speak to a native speaker and you stumble over a word. You don't focus on the successful 10-minute conversation you had, you obsess over the one mistake. Your confirmation bias points to it and says, proof, you're bad at this. Your brain is not showing you reality. It is filtering reality to match your belief. It's like you're wearing special glasses that only highlight your mistakes. With these glasses on, the world of your English ability looks bleak, full of errors and failures. You might even find articles online titled, Why Learning English is So Hard for Adults. And your brain will scream, yes, I knew it. It's not just me, it's a fact. It actively seeks out this information, but it will conveniently scroll right past an article titled, Millions of Adults Become Fluent in English Every Year. That information contradicts your belief. It creates a feeling of discomfort, a little jolt of mental friction. Your brain, in its quest to conserve energy and stay safe in the certainty of its beliefs, will simply ignore it. Why? Because questioning a core belief is hard work. It takes a lot of mental energy. It can be scary. It's much easier, much more efficient to just keep believing what we already believe. Certainty, even if it's a negative certainty, feels safer to the primal brain than the chaos of the unknown. So the student who believes he's bad at grammar only notices his grammatical errors. The person who believes they are unlovable only remembers the times they were rejected and forgets the times they were cherished. The entrepreneur who believes she's going to fail will see every small setback as a sign of the end, and every small victory as a lucky break that won't last. This isn't just about having a positive mindset. This is about understanding the mechanics of your own mind. Your brain is building a case to prove your beliefs are true, whether they are good for you or not. It's a trap, a comfortable, self-fulfilling prison where the walls are built from your own certainties. So, how do you fight it? How do you escape a prison you can't see?
You have to be willing to do what your brain hates the most. You have to actively look for evidence that you're wrong. You must become a scientist of your own life, and your beliefs are just a hypothesis, a theory to be tested, not a fact to be defended. If you believe you're bad at grammar, your challenge is to spend 10 minutes a day looking only for what you do right. Keep a journal. Write down one sentence you formed perfectly, one rule you remembered. You must consciously, intentionally gather the contradictory evidence because your brain will not do it for you. You must force it to see the other side. You have to ask the hard questions. What if my belief about myself isn't true? What evidence am I ignoring? What would the world look like if I took off these glasses? It's an act of intellectual bravery to stand up to your own mind and say, I know you're trying to keep me safe in what's familiar, but I'm not interested in being safe. I'm interested in being free. This deep-seated need to protect our past choices leads to another related trap, a trap that wastes your future by trying to justify your past. It's a tricky concept in logic, known as a fallacy. A fallacy is a flaw in your thinking. It's an error in reasoning that makes an argument invalid. It sounds logical on the surface, but when you look closer, it falls apart. There are many fallacies, but one of the most common and most destructive is the sunk cost fallacy. Imagine you bought an expensive ticket to a concert. On the day of the show, you get sick. You have a fever, you feel terrible, and it's pouring rain outside. You know that going to the concert will make you feel worse. You won't even enjoy the music. The logical thing to do is to stay home, rest, and get better. But a voice in your head says, but I paid so much for that ticket. I can't let it go to waste. So you drag yourself out of bed into the cold rain and you go to the concert. You feel miserable the whole time, you don't enjoy a single song, and the next day you are even more sick. That is the sunk cost fallacy in action. Let me explain the name. A sunk cost is a cost that has already been paid and cannot be recovered. The money for the concert ticket is gone. Whether you go or not, it's sunk. The fallacy, the error in thinking, is letting that sunk cost influence your future decisions. Your present self is sick and needs rest. The money is already gone, but the fallacy makes you waste even more, your health, your time, your comfort, to try and justify the original unrecoverable cost. Your primal brain is doing this. It has a deep, deep hatred of loss. The pain of losing something is psychologically about twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining something of equal value. To your brain, wasting the ticket feels like a loss, a threat. It doesn't calculate the future loss of your health. It's obsessed with the past loss of the money. Now, let's move this out of the concert hall and into your life. Where is this trap showing up for you? Think about the job you've been in for 7 years. Maybe it doesn't challenge you anymore. Maybe it drains your soul. You know you should leave, but you think, but I've already invested 7 years of my life here. I've built up seniority. I can't just throw that all away. Those 7 years are a sunk cost. They are gone. You can never get them back. The only real question is, do I want to invest my 8th year here? Your decision should be based on your future, not your past. But the sunk cost fallacy
chains you to your history. It makes you throw good years after bad ones, hoping to somehow make the initial investment worthwhile. Think about a relationship that is no longer making you happy. You stay because we have so much history together. We've been through so much. That history is a sunk cost. The real question is, based on who we are today, is this the right partnership for my future? Think about the university degree you started, but now realize is for a career you don't want. I'm already 2 years in. I have to finish. Those 2 years are a sunk cost. The real question is it better to spend 2 more years and a lot more money to get a degree I won't use, or to change course now and invest that time and money into something I'm passionate about? This fallacy is one of the most profound traps because it disguises itself as wisdom. It sounds responsible. I don't give up easily. I finish what I start. But there is a huge difference between perseverance and stubbornness. Perseverance is continuing to fight for something you truly want, despite obstacles. Stubbornness in this case is continuing to invest in a mistake just because you made it.
To escape this trap, you need to learn to ask a terrifyingly simple question. You need to scrutinize your decisions. To scrutinize something is to examine it very, very carefully, to look at it with intense detail. It's a fantastic C2 word. Say it with me. Scrutinize. It means you're not just glancing at the problem, you're putting it under a microscope. So when you face one of these decisions, you must scrutinize it by asking this. If I were starting from scratch today, with no prior history or investment, would I make this same choice? If your company offered you your exact job today as a new applicant, would you take it? If you met your partner for the first time today, knowing what you now know, would you enter into a relationship with them? If you were choosing a university major today, would you choose this one? The answer is often a painful and resounding no. And that no is your key to freedom. It's the truth trying to break through the fallacy. It requires immense courage to listen to that no. It means accepting a past investment as a loss. It feels like failure, but it's not. The real failure is continuing to pour your precious, limited resources, your time, your energy, your life, into a hole that will never be filled. Cutting your losses is not quitting. It is a strategic decision to redirect your future towards something better. It's one of the most mature and powerful things you can ever do. It's choosing your future over your past. This focus on loss, this obsession with what could go wrong, is not just limited to our past decisions. It infects our present moment too. It's another one of the brain's primal survival mechanisms, a default setting that, in the modern world, creates a constant state of low-level anxiety and dissatisfaction. It's called the negativity bias. Think about your day so far. I bet something good happened. Maybe you had a nice cup of coffee. Maybe a friend sent you a funny message. Maybe you learned a new English word and used it correctly. Maybe the sun was shining. I bet several good things happened. Now, think of something bad happened. Maybe you were late for something. Maybe someone was rude to you. Maybe you spilled something on your shirt. At the end of the day, as you lie in bed, which of these events will your mind naturally replay over and over again? For most of us, it's the negative one. That one bad moment can stain an entire day of good moments. That one piece of criticism from your boss can drown out 10 pieces of praise from your colleagues. That is the negativity bias at work. It simply means that our brains are built with a greater sensitivity to negative news, negative experiences, and negative information. The brain reacts more strongly to them and remembers them more vividly. It's like Velcro for bad experiences and Teflon for good ones. The bad stuff sticks, the good stuff slides right off. From a survival perspective, this makes perfect sense. Imagine two of our ancient ancestors walking through a forest. One of them is an optimist. He notices the beautiful flowers, the delicious berries, the warm sun. The other is a pessimist. He's constantly scanning for danger.
A rustle in the bushes that could be a tiger, a strange-looking plant that could be poisonous, a crack of thunder in the distance.
This bias is the root of so much of our daily anxiety and self-doubt. It makes you ruminate. To ruminate is to think deeply about something, to chew it over in your mind again and again. It's a wonderful word, and it comes from the way cows chew their cud. They bring food back up from their stomach and chew it over and over. That's what your mind does with negative experiences. It brings them back up again and again, chewing on the pain. This rumination feels productive, like you're trying to solve the problem. But most of the time, you're just deepening the neural pathway of that negative memory, making it even stronger and more likely to come back. The negativity bias is also why the news is so often negative. News organizations know that stories about war, crime, and disaster grab our attention far more effectively than stories about peace, cooperation, and progress. Your brain is hardwired to pay attention to the scary headlines. It's not your fault, it's your programming. But the result is that you can end up with a completely distorted view of the world, believing it to be a much more dangerous and terrible place than it actually is. So we are walking around with the brain that is actively looking for the bad, remembering the bad, and obsessing over the bad. It's a trap that makes genuine, lasting happiness feel impossible. You can have 100 good things happen, but your mind will be hooked on the one bad thing. How do you escape? You can't rewire this fundamental circuit of your brain. It will always be there, but you can learn to work with it. You can build a conscious counter strategy. This is where practices like gratitude come in. Keeping a gratitude journal isn't just a nice, happy thing to do. It is a powerful neuroscientific intervention. You are actively training your brain to do what it does not do naturally. You are forcing it to scan for, acknowledge, and marinate in positive experiences. When you sit down and write, "Today I am grateful for the warm sun on my face," you are taking a small, fleeting positive moment that your brain would have discarded, and you are holding it. You are telling your brain, this is important too. Pay attention to this. Doing this consistently starts to build new neural pathways. It's like creating a new file in your brain's cabinet labeled "good things to remember." At first, the file is thin, but every day you add to it, it gets thicker and heavier. Over time, your brain gets better at noticing the good simply because you've trained it to. It's about deliberately savoring the good. When you eat a delicious meal, don't just swallow it while scrolling on your phone. Pause, taste it, savor it. When a friend gives you a compliment, don't just brush it off. Pause, let it in, really hear it, feel it. By doing this, you are manually overriding the negativity bias. You are turning the Teflon into Velcro for the good stuff. You have to be more intentional about celebrating your wins, especially the small ones, than you are about analyzing your losses. Your brain will handle the analysis of losses automatically. You have to handle the celebration of wins manually. It's a conscious daily practice. It is the work of taking control of the focus of your own mind. So we have these traps, heuristics that make us misjudge, confirmation bias that locks us in our own beliefs, the sunk cost fallacy that chains us to our past, the negativity bias that colors our present with fear and anxiety. It can feel overwhelming. It can feel like we are puppets and our primal brain is the one pulling the strings. But you are not a puppet. You have something that your ancient brain does not. You have the capacity for awareness. You have the ability to observe your own mind.
This is your superpower. The formal term for this is metacognition. It's another big C2 level word, but its meaning is the most important concept in this entire video. Metacognition simply means thinking about your thinking. It is the ability to step back and watch your own thoughts without being consumed by them. Imagine you are standing on the bank of a river. The water is your stream of consciousness. Your thoughts, feelings, and urges are the sticks, leaves, and currents flowing by. Most of the time, we are not on the bank. We are in the river. We are swept away by the current of anger. We get tangled in the weeds of anxiety. We are carried along by our automatic assumptions. We don't even realize we are in the river. We just think, this is me. I am my thoughts. Metacognition is the act of pulling yourself out of the water and sitting on the bank. From there, you can watch the river of your mind. You can see a thought of self-doubt float by and say, there is the thought, I am not good enough. You don't have to jump in the water and wrestle with it. You can just observe it. Interesting. My brain produced that thought just now. When you feel the pull of the sunk cost fallacy, that urge to stay in the bad job, metacognition allows you to see it. Look, there's that fear of waste. My brain is trying to protect a past investment. When you notice yourself obsessing over a negative comment, you can observe, this is my negativity bias at work. My brain has snagged on something bad. This simple act of observation creates a space, a tiny gap between the stimulus, the thought or feeling, and your response. In that space lies your freedom. In that space, you can choose. You are no longer reacting automatically on primal instinct. You are responding consciously. This is the foundation of achieving true mental clarity and objectivity. We hear this word a lot. Objectivity is the quality of being able to judge things without being influenced by your own personal feelings or opinions. It's seeing the world as it is, not as your biases filter it. Absolute objectivity is probably impossible for a human, but we can strive for it. We can get closer to it. How? By practicing this metacognitive observation, by treating your thoughts not as commands, but as suggestions, as notifications from your ancient brain. A thought pops up. Don't try to speak English in that meeting. You'll make a mistake and look stupid. The old you, the you in the river, would hear that thought and believe it. You would feel the fear and you would obey. You would stay silent in the meeting. Your confirmation bias would then say, see, it's better to be quiet and safe. The new you, the you on the riverbank, hears that thought and observes it. Okay, my brain is sending me a fear notification. It's flagging a potential social threat. It's activating the stay safe protocol. Thank you, brain, for the suggestion. I appreciate you trying to protect me. And then, from that place of calm observation, you can make a choice. You can ask, does obeying this fear move me closer to my goals? The goal of becoming a confident English speaker? The answer is clearly no. And so you can choose to feel the fear, but act anyway. You can choose to speak in the meeting. Maybe you do make a small mistake. Your negativity bias will scream, I told you so. But from the riverbank, you can observe that too. There's the negativity bias, trying to make me ruminate on the mistake. And you can choose to focus instead on the fact that you were brave, that you took a step toward your goal. This is not a one-time fix. This is a lifelong practice. It is the mental equivalent of going to the gym. You are building a new muscle, the muscle of awareness. You can do this through formal meditation, which is literally the practice of sitting on the riverbank and watching your thoughts. You can do this through journaling, where you take the thoughts out of your head and put them on paper so you can look at them more objectively. You can do this in any moment of your day. When you feel a strong emotion, just pause, breathe, and ask, what is my mind telling me right now? And is it true? Is it helpful? You are learning to become the wise leader of your own mind, not its frantic servant. You are learning to use your brain as the magnificent tool it is, without falling into the ancient traps it sets for you. You learn to appreciate its attempts to keep you safe, while gently but firmly guiding it toward the life you actually want to live, a life of growth, of courage, and of purpose. You stop letting your 200,000-year-old brain make 21st century decisions for you. Your mind is a tool, not a master. It's time you learned how to use it. Thank you so much for listening today. If you want to improve your English faster, a great way is to make listening a daily habit. Come back to our channel, listen to our stories and lessons every day, and you will see your understanding, your vocabulary, and your confidence grow. Until next time.